Welcome to Nitpicking Nerds and the first of 5 Precon power-ups this week.
We are upgrading the Obscura Operation Precon for just $50.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. We're bringing you videos every single day, and this week specifically, it's Precon upgrades every single day. If you want to support the channel, maybe buy the Precons, maybe buy some of the cards we're suggesting for the upgrades, you can go to TCGPLAYER. We got an affiliate link, so every time you buy cards there, you're supporting the channel at the same time for no extra cost.
You know, we got to say happy birthday to everyone whose birthday is today, including our friend's pet Draper, whose birthday is today. She's
Happy birthday.
She's 1 year old.
Golden Lab, 1 year old.
Yeah, and this video is sponsored by MOXFIELD, so you'll find Sneak Attack ad in the middle.
Sneak Attack ad, and we're going to give a shout out to our patron, Ezekiel. He deserved a shout out because he's in that Patreon tier. If you want to join him, you know where it is. It's in the description.
Like everything else. So today we're doing Precon power-ups, where we take the Precon and we take $50 and we slam it together to make a deck that usually would have been under $100, but these Precons are $60 MSRP, so this is a $110 total deck. Creeping up in price there, these.
Yes, they are only getting more expensive, which explains the higher reprint quality, but we're doing something a little different than what we've been doing before. We are capping ourselves at 30 changes. We don't have to like build an entire new deck. It's like we're going to change like half of the spells, a few lands, and then we're going to make the deck way more playable for $50.
Yeah, for $50 we are doing 30 total changes. About 30% of the deck is being
roughly.
changed. Roughly.
Rounded up.
Yeah, rounded up to 30%. So today we have the Obscura Operation Precon. Who's the commander? That's the first thing we have to do so we can figure out what's our game plan.
It's Camille's Obscura Oculus, 1 white, blue, black for a Cephalid Rogue, 2/4. Whenever you attack, target attacking creature can't be blocked this turn. It connives. Then choose another attacking creature with lesser power. That creature gains double strike until end of turn. So we're making things unblockable, we're drawing and discarding randomly, and then we're going to get double strike. So we're trying to take advantage of combat damage triggers, unblockable creatures, and then just give them all double strike and kill everybody.
Yeah, we're going to make things unblockable to get through combat damage triggers, and then when we can sneak them through, we're going to give them double strike to get more combat damage trigger. And honestly, this deck isn't going to win fancily, not at all. We're literally going to be winning with combat damage and the combat damage triggers. We're amplifying our normal hits. All of our hits are going to be strong, they're going to be big, and we're going to get in for damage, but all those hits are not only going to do damage, they're going to give us effects that are going to push us far ahead and give us great advantage.
Plus, one spicy win con that is not necessarily just combat damage later.
There's always spicy.
We're always spice.
Come
on. First thing you got to do, there's always some cards in this Precon that are just head scratchers. Why are they here? No one knows. They don't fit the game plan, so we're going to cut them. Like Alila, Artful Provocateur. She wants flyers. She wants artifacts and enchantments. We don't really care about those last two. And we have some flyers. She makes 1 or 2. It just is like not enough power toughness.
Not made for our deck at all. Identity Thief. I think his card is laughably bad.
Yeah.
It doesn't really fit in. I would argue that you couldn't show me a commander where this fits in the identity, so get out of our deck.
Jailbreak. It helps your opponent. We're not Reanimator. I'm not sure what else needs to be said about it. It's just not a good card in this deck.
No, and Life Insurance, very good card, but we're not going to be able to mitigate the life loss from a board wipe. Say there's like 20 creatures on board. Sure. Awesome. We get 20 treasures, but we lose 20 life, and that puts us in a very weak position that we can't really overcome with this deck.
I might leave it in, but I could see cutting it. Oscar Rubbish Reclaimer, or Oscar the Grouch, he really wants discarding, and he's like very needy, and we can't meet his needs, even though he's powerful, so he's gone. Yeah,
this isn't our deck. So now after we cut those cards, we have to add cards that, do fit our game plan. A couple of those cards are, Brina, the Demagogue. Love this. We're already going to be attacking every single combat to get our triggers and get in. Why not add counters? Why not add card draw to that? Super awesome. Sure, we give our opponent some cards. I have seen this card more than enough now in the command zone to know you might be giving away cards. You're going to be making threats so fast.
And getting more cards as we have these little dorky, hard to block things that are just going to connect. We also have Wonder. We don't really draw a discard except once every turn with our Camille's trigger. So this is like super reliable way to just go, all right, draw a card, and suddenly discard Wonder. All my creatures have evasion.
Yeah, a couple of Madness cards in this deck is much better, or Madness type effects where it's like discarding, you get some sort of effect. We didn't build the whole deck around it, but it is nice to have them. Same thing with the next card here, which is Shadow Grange Archfiend. You Madness it for 2 and a black, and you pay 8 life, and then everyone sacrifices their like highest power creature, and then you gain some life, you know, so you're not spending all that life. and you're getting an 8/4 for 3 mana. It's pretty nice.
I love that card. I'm definitely going to be playing it in future episodes of Shuffle Scuffle. We also have Big Game Hunter, also known as Big Gay Hunter. Whatever he prefers, he's still going to destroy a creature with power 4 or greater and be cast for 1 mana off of the Connive.
Yeah, it's like a mini Shadow Grange Archfiend.
Little tiny baby one.
Little baby one, but he is Big Gay Hunter,
Yes.
which is awesome.
His name is Hunter.
His name is Hunter. Yeah, he's a legendary creature, Big Gay Hunter.
Right.
Also, we had the Combat Calligrapher. Okay, again, we're attacking every single turn. We can spread out those attacks now. We're going to attack with 2 creatures every turn. That's the goal of this deck. 1 unblockable somewhere, 1 double strike somewhere else. Why not have some little tiny Inklings come with me, and then my opponents start beating each other up with Inklings as well.
The Inklings just stack so fast. If this card isn't answered, the Inklings make more Inklings, and as long as it's out, you're not going to get punished by Inklings, and it's just, you're going to be saying Inkling a lot.
All right, next, we need to take cards that kind of fit the game plan. Kinda. But they weren't doing it to the extent that we wanted it to, so these are upgrading in that category. This is combat damage triggers. This is basically what we chose to focus on this deck. It had a lot of different little ways to go, but I think you really can bring it together with combat damage trigger. First thing we cut, Daring Saboteur. I don't understand this card. There are so many 3-mana creatures that when they hit, draw a card. Why would we ever need 3-mana creature that when it hits, loot?
Because he's wearing pajamas.
He is wearing pajamas, but that's not a good enough reason.
Yeah, Skyway Robber wants to be escaped, so he wants to be connived, and it's just like, this is a lot, okay? And I'm not even getting anything that good. I have to do work after I escape this thing and exile 5 cards. I have to do more things? Never. No way.
We're also a creature deck, and it wants to deal with instant sorceries. This is not there. Misfortune Teller, this card sucks. I would argue again that this doesn't have any home in any deck, no matter what your strategy is.
It's like a vanilla creature. Daxos of Meldas, he's on plan. He's going to like gain us some life and kind of draw us a card, but it's just like we can do better, and we're going to do so much better. Daxos will be embarrassed to be in this final deck.
Yeah, why is Daxos impulse draw from our opponents? So weird.
No idea.
It's not like they must have been figuring out this ability because it is not a blue-white ability at all anymore. It is like a black-red ability, black-red-blue. And they're just like, this white card can do it. Next, Grave Blade Marauders. This fits perfectly with plan, but I don't think it's very good. We're not trying to fill up our graveyard a whole ton. It's whatever. This card is just overall not something I want to play almost ever.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Mask of the Schemer, it's a lot of investment. It's not the worst card. I just think we can do better for like how much, like putting 6 mana into this, getting nothing on your first go around. Basically, you just get the counters and the connives. Then next turn it's going to be a really big threat. That's a lot of waiting. It's
a lot of time, yeah, like you said. And Stranic Resonator is supposed to be the thing that doubles up our counters on attack triggers. It's slow, it's clunky, it's just not worth doing overall. It also would double up our canter. Also, not worth doing overall, too much to pay.
And now ads.
Yeah, ads. Yeah, what do we put in now for these combat damage triggers? We put in a lot of good stuff. Reconnaissance Mission, get in there. Obviously, every time one of our creatures hits, we're drawing a card. We're not going to run out of cards when we're doing that because, well, we're probably going to draw at least 1, 2. Plus, I love that every single one of these cards that are going to be mentioned here, you give the double strike side, like the free unblockable, you get the trigger. Double strike, get the trigger twice.
Right. The creature that's already going to hit them is the one you're going to give double strike, and then you're just going to get so many triggers off Reconnaissance Mission. Daxos is embarrassed right now. He's like, I can't believe they mentioned it. Dimir Cutpurse, it's got some evasion, and then when you hit, it's some card advantage, right?
Yeah, exactly. It makes them discard a card, and it makes you draw a card, so obviously perfect for our deck. Again, let's double strike that. Let's make our opponent real mad at us. I love this next card. It's like a perfect synergy card for this deck. And it is Mischievous Catgeist, which is on the front side a 1/1 that attacks, and when it deals combat damage, you draw a card. But on the back side, you can disturb it from your graveyard and make an enchantment that goes on a creature and does it. This is something to throw away to put counters on our guys and get an effect from the graveyard. It's also that 1/1 to get out early so that we can go 2-drop into some 3-drop into our commander to just start our attack chain.
Very innocuous, but super strong in the deck. We also have Ashling the Extinguisher. Well, you got to like just play it, and then you're going to have to untap with it. But once you do, she's either getting unblockable or maybe even double strike. But once she hits, you just kill their best creature. So it's like, hey, I'll wait a turn, and then I'm going to just remove your best thing every single go around.
Yeah, this is definitely an unblockable one, I think, on the side. Because obviously if they have any blockers, this is never sneaking through on them because you kill 2 things. I think they'll just choose the one to let die. So this is going to be super awesome. It's weird. I love the wording because you get to go choose this and you sacrifice it. So it gets around like indestructible and stuff. What a random thing.
Blade Griff prototype, similar, but when it hits, you're going to destroy something of their choice that you don't control. That's basically probably the best thing on the board, and you're going to be super happy with it. It's net positive for any one person you give the choice to, but it's net negative for all your opponents.
Yeah, it really is pretty good. Virtus the Veiled, Veiled. It's the Veiled. Virtus the Veiled. We had already had the Spike. What is it? Quotus Spike? Quotus
Spike?
Quatus. It's a weird name for a card, but we already had that in the deck. I figured, why don't we just put in Virtus as well? We hit, have their life. And if you do it with double strike,
3/4.
Yeesh, it's real good.
Rankle, Master of Prankles, is going to hit once, maybe twice, and that's the best version of whatever we want. We can have everybody draw if we need cards super bad, screw everybody's hands over and just say, I'm ahead on board, try to beat me, or clear the board. It's great.
Yeah, you do whatever's best for you. That's what makes them so good. Deep Fathom Skulker. It has the ability to make creatures unblockable, which synergizes well with our deck, and it's just kind of a form of a reconnaissance mission, which
is a second copy.
Yeah, mentioned earlier, but it's cheap, so we can get it in.
Keep this one in mind for later. It's Metamai the Ageless. Smacks a player, extra turn after this one. Now, it can't attack during those extra turns, but what if we gave it double strike? Time stretch? Okay, that's probably just game over.
Yeah, exactly. This is one of the best things to double strike. Cephalid Constable is going to be the unblockable thing that we're putting counters on, because when it hits, we can return permanents equal to the amount of damage done.
Like lands.
The first one's going to be 2 with it, because we're just going to draw, discard a non-land, put a counter on our Cephalid Constable, and just start bouncing. This is going to be devastating real fast.
We can start this on turn 4. And it's like they're just going to kill somebody. We also have Mask of Memory. It's just a nice little extra card draw. We were like, we need one more way to draw cards. It's not tied to a creature. It's going to survive board wipes. Nice to diversify a little bit, and it's just going to draw some cards.
Yeah. Also, a little bit of synergy with our discard, mini discard, something like, for some of our Madness cards.
It's true. Also, synergy with Madness cards. MOXFIELD.com, because if you're going to build like a Madness deck, this is the best website for Madness decks, and actually any deck ever. You can sort all your cards that discard, put tags around them so these are the discard enablers, these are the discard payoffs, and you can build your Madness deck in a half hour. Super easy to use. Probably easier than the competition, I'd say.
Yeah, it is incredibly easy to use. Like, literally the best deck building website you have. I love going on there and looking at all the different views. We got the stacks. You got the stacks of cards.
The visual grid.
The visual grid, yeah. And what's the other one called? I think it's just text.
Text.
Where you can, if you're really like a reader, and when you look at something, you could just visualize in the media. I can't. Like, I need those pictures.
But it has it for everyone.
This is why I don't read books. I need pictures. I need a picture book.
Give me a movie book.
No, picture book.
Book, yeah. All right, let's go to the random synergies, things that are just going to gel super well overall, and I guess you'll kind of get what we're saying as we go into these. But first, we got to cut some of these cards that are like kind of there, but not really. Cephalid Face Taker, it's trying to clone things, right? And I'm just not. I'm not about it.
I get it. I get the joke. You want it to become your creature. It can't be blocked. And you want it to become your creature with a good hits ability.
Right.
That's why this card sucks. Nadir Kraken. I don't understand this card at all. I don't think it fits our deck. And it's honestly, this is one where I just go, huh?
Yeah. Profane Command. I get this one. It gives evasion. It kills a creature. The rate, though, is just bad. This rate does not translate well into Commander. Currency Converter. It's like a bag of holding, sort of, but we're not going hard enough into the discard. This will make some Kami's decks, but not ours.
Yeah, ours is not designed to use this. And change of plans with phasing out our creatures. Conniving. It kind of works. It kind of fits everything, but not quite well enough. In its place, we added Invisible Stalker. I love this to keep stacking the counters on over and over again, because we want to get this. If we pump this thing up to like 4 or 5 power, now we can start giving anything double strike that we want, which is going to feel absolutely great.
Yeah, a good creature to give unblockable to is actually Consuming Aberration, because its power is ginormous. We're going to cast all our spells pre-combat. It's seriously, if you cast like 4 spells, even with no graveyards, this thing's going to be like a 20/20. And that alone can kill somebody 1 hit, 2 hits, or if in some weird universe where this has double strike, like you're just ending people's lives.
Yeah, there's some games players don't have blockers, and you absolutely just get to put this on the field and kill them with it. It's so stupid big. Also added Satora Umezawa. Love this. We can make any stupid thing unblockable. It gets in. Then, because we have big, giant attack or combat damage triggers, we can just go, boop, ninjutsu that back to my hands, hit you with this instead.
Oop, you thought it was Invisible Stalker. It's actually Consuming Aberration, take 30. And now Satoru Umezawa is going to just, he's going to just go above and beyond and go absolute ham sandwich with Metamai the Ageless. Because if we attack with Metamai, we smack him for 4, we're going to get an extra turn. Now, after damage, before combat's over, we're going to ninjutsu something else. It doesn't matter. Then the next turn, we're going to connect with that whatever else. And instead of that connecting, it's going to be Metamai the Ageless, who is going to take another extra turn, and they're just dead. It kills a player. It kills any player without blockers, because we're going to take infinite extra turns.
No, it kills every player because we have a commander that makes something unblockable every single turn, meaning that it doesn't matter if they have blockers. This is a kill on them. This is
2 cards, 8 mana, win the game.
Yeah, absolutely. You need a lot of mana. It is a build around, but it will win the game. We also added Lion Sash. This will pump up any singular creature. We just throw it on there. We get some graveyard hate. A nice little card, and then whatever creature we want that's going to be unblockable for a turn, we just get in with it. Or this can even get in because this is going to be a big threat by itself as well.
I also like equipping a small creature, waiting until after you give it double strike, and then, all right, time to pile the counters on before damage. Lastly, we got 2 more Disturb cards, actually, which is surprising. The first one's Twin Blade Geist. On the front side, it has double strike, so it loves the connive plus some counters. On the back side, it's just part of Kamise's ability, except we don't have to worry about it. We'll just put it on our best thing, whatever's going to connect. And then Lantern Bearer, same thing, but for flying. It just gives evasion and has evasion.
Yeah, I think actually connive is, or not connive, Disturb is just an insanely strong mechanic with this. Unfortunately, we don't have that many good
there's
cards.
Like 5 ones that are relevant for Commander.
Yeah, there's not very many, but we put in the 3 that we thought absolutely fit the deck. And these don't just, these are amazing. They have so many little synergies with the deck. Lantern Bearer, we want evasion. Whoops. We want double strike. Wow. Look at that. We're just getting it everywhere. We want creatures that have combat damage triggers. Well, look at that.
Discarding relevant cards to connive, huh? Okay, great.
It's almost like these are perfect.
Yeah, lastly, we got to do some ramp removal card draw, and we did scatter that throughout because the whole point of this is to be smacking players with unblockable creatures, so we scattered it throughout, but this is sort of the non-synergy. Every deck needs a few just kind of no matter what I'm doing, if I'm behind, these are still going to work perfectly. So we're cutting the cards that are just trash. They are not good ramp removal card draw. Nightmares I'm making, and I'll really, really bad board wipe. Not a good card in any sense.
Yeah, that's a great way to put
Simple enough,
it.
right? I mean,
Dusk Dawn, I get it. We can discard it to do the thing on the other side, but that's a bad spell. And we're pumping up our creatures' powers, making Dusk kill our creatures. This just feels like a total nombo. Should not be in the deck.
Very confusing. Obscura Charm, they like putting the charms in these. All 5 of the charms are just not very good in Commander. We're never going to play them, so they're getting cut from the budget decks too.
Yeah. Commit Memory. Again, this is just not a very good Commander removal spell. So we're out into deep.
What are we doing with Commit to Memory?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know at all. And also, it shuffles in our graveyard. We have some graveyard synergies. That's just a nombo. Also, Into Deep. This is just sort of meh. Just meh.
We don't need it. It doesn't do anything positive. And so I was just completely meh. We didn't really cut any ramp or card draw. It was pretty good for this deck. I'm proud of these precons, although knowing that they're $60, maybe I'm slightly less proud. And it's it better have the ramp I need.
This deck in particular didn't need much more ramp, but some of the other ones did. What we did add here is just a couple of removal spells, which were Soul Shatter. We get a nice 3-for-1. We need some card advantage in our removal.
Premium.
Nice to have. And Arcane Denial, the deck just had no counters. I have 1 counter. Let's add at least a second one.
Yeah, I don't like going on full 0 in a blue deck that wants to be on board. It's let's change your plans and give our creatures phasing. It's no, let's just counter whatever they're doing.
Agreed, 100%. And before we get into the land section of this video, where we tell you what we upgraded for the lands, we got to shout out our patrons. Woo. Special shout outs to every single one of them. They support the channel directly via patreon.com, which is a website you go to and you say, hey, Nitpicking Nerds, you're so good at making content. I want to give you money so you can keep making content.
Yeah, go to the link in the description. You can join them. Maybe you'll even get a shout out. Maybe you'll get a card from us. Depends on the tier you choose. There's a lot. And I know I got you thinking. You're like, I got to go over there.
Yeah, got to figure out what our tiers are. Okay, last but not least, we got to improve the lands. All right, so some easy cuts. Esper Panorama and Obscura Storefront. We're not on a tight enough budget for these to really make the deck. You really got to be on a tight budget. We're not interested. Easy. 2 plains out, 2 swamps out, 2 islands out. Too many basics, so we're obviously just going to upgrade those. In its place, we get Shipwreck Mars, Slow Duel. These are worth a lot right now. I think these are going to be in our video for rotating on our standard cards to pick up.
Baby, yeah, whenever that happens.
Just thinking it's a while from now.
Right.
Well, I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, they're not going to be cheap anytime soon.
Yeah, exactly. We also had a River of Tears, just one of those weird cycle cards from the old, what is it? future sight.
Same with Nimbus Maze. We're
Yeah.
just happy to have them. They're like untapped pseudo duels. There's some weird text on them. You got to figure it out. But then they're basically just dual lands, and we get to play them for $2 or $3 a piece. Caves of Koilos, like $1 or $2. It's just untapped duel. Yes, please. We even got Fabled Passage in this deck.
We get for Caves of Koilos, you're gonna see us add the enemy of the Pain lands because
they're affordable.
They're affordable. The other ones are not. Like you said, Fabled Passage, super nice to have. We just had a couple extra bucks laying around. Like, let's throw that in. And Glacial Fortress. Also, we had a couple extra bucks still around, so we threw it at the lands.
I mean, when all we have to add to make this deck sweet is like Lantern Bearer and Twin Blade Geist. We get some juice in the mana base department, and now our spells are just going to be that much more castable. Let's bring it home with some stats. So obviously the budget was $50. We spent $49.57. We try to go as close as possible to the budget, just so you're getting the juice is worth the squeeze, I guess you could say.
Getting the squeeze
out of the juice.
They're getting the squeeze out of the juice. I believe the kids do say that. The original average mana value for this deck was 3.62, and now we cut it a whole 0.1. You're gonna feel it. New average mana value 3.54, which is actually, if you listen to what I said 2 seconds ago, not actually a whole point. I lied.
0.08.
Yeah.
All the card spells are on average a little bit cheaper, and the total changes. It's 30. It's going to be 30 for the next couple of these, and I like where we're at with the 30. You know, it stops us from just changing the entire deck. When we can't build a new deck, you've got to take, not that we were, but you've got to take the deck, what it gives you, and change, and you're going to have to make some compromises. Like, yeah, some of these medium cards stay in, but not everybody wants to buy like 55 pieces of cardboard for this.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this is a good upgrade. Everything came out kind of sweet. I think this deck has a lot of awesome synergies all over the place. Like I said, I think Disturb was like, it's weirdly like, was this made for this deck? Because it feels like it was made for this deck. I would actually, if I had to wager some sort of guess, it was probably standard stuff lining up to go with each other. But what do I know? I'm just another random person on the internet. We do these Precon powers for every single Precon, so why don't you go check out our last ones for Kamigawa on screen right here. Peace out, Tribe Scouts.